at 6:30. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. We have a roll call, please.
Village President Dedlow.
Here.
Mr. Brower.
Here.
Mr. March.
Here.
Mr. Morgan. Present. Ms. Quinn.
Here.
Ms. Worrell.
Here.
Ms. Wheeler.
Present.
So, yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve previous board minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve village board minutes from July 7th, 2025.
A second.
Okay, motion to approve previous meeting minutes from July 7th. Motion is made by Ms. Wheeler
Yes.
and seconded by Mr. March.
Yeah.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Quinn.
Yes.
Ms. Worrell.
I was absent, so I'm staying.
Abstainer, okay.
We have public comment this evening.
Yes, first on the list, Melissa Passini.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I am formally addressing you about the ongoing mega sale that occurs behind USA Restaurant that has been taking place for three to 4 days a week for 5 years, essentially in my backyard. So far, this has been an estimated of over 100 sales, unauthorized garage sales at this location just this year, 2025. According to Illinois regulations, they are only permitted to have 2 to 3 garage sales per year, and Kankakee County explicitly limits it to 3 sales. That means the current operations is exceeding the legal limit by at least 197 sales this year alone. While I understand and agree that Vern is a very kind person, the frequency and scale of these sales have significantly disrupted the quality of life for me and my family. My family has lost all sense of privacy. We no longer use our backyard due to constant foot traffic, unfamiliar dogs that are brought to that property for the sales, which force us to keep our pets inside all day. And vehicles that speed down our private driveway only to realize they're not allowed to be there. And then some have even driven across our lawn and grass in attempts to get out of there for some unknown reason. Additionally, the worker associated with the sales has posted online photos that include images of our home without consent. There have been recent allegations of theft linked to this sale, which have escalated further on social media, fueling tensions and discomfort. It's worth noting that this is not a commercial zone. It is zoned heavy industrial, and no business taxes are being paid on the frequent sales, meaning the community sees no financial benefit from these sales. We've moved to this area for peace and privacy, not to live next to an unregulated retail operation. With the school season approaching, I'm concerned of my son's safety. He'll be taking the bus this year, which means the bus needs access to the turnaround road over there. But it's currently blocked by tables and unsold items that are left out there day after day. We have tried to resolve this issue with Vern and Yellowhead Township many times with no result. I also did give Vern a heads up about regarding me coming to the village today, so he was not blindsided by this matter. I'm requesting that the issue be taken seriously and addressed by a local ordinance. I'm asking you to please enforce the ordinance and shut these sales down. I do have the copy of the ordinance for garage sales for Grant Park off the Grant Park website. I have photos of the mess that is left out daily in back of our house. I have photos of my house being posted online by their sales. I have photos of cars coming down my driveway. Actually, cars driving through my grass to leave the sale. We put up with it for 5 years, and the sales are just getting bigger and bigger. And now it used to be 2 days a week. Now it's 3 to 4, 6 a.m., 3 to 4 days a week. We're getting these sales. It's not right.
Is that it, Ms. Bissini?
What was that?
Is that it? Do you have
Yes.
anything else? Can we have those photos,
Yes.
please? I don't have a resolution for you right now, but we will discuss it.
What is my next option then? Because this will be back on
I did some research today.
I didn't know if it was in the village or not. It is in the village. It is, like she said, zone heavy commercial.
Okay.
The township owns the building. Under ordinance 3-6-1, no more than 3 garage sales or yard sales a year is permitted. It makes no mention of zoning, so I think that would be the appropriate ordinance to address that.
So how can we enforce it?
We can just tell him he can no longer have sales. He can only have three at the most per year. So he's basically shut down.
Okay.
May I also like to mention that Vern, has passed away,
No, different
Yes.
Vern.
not Vern Bullen?
No,
Okay,
different Vern. Vern Wayman.
okay. Good, say.
Yeah, different
Did you
Vern.
talk to them?
Different Vern.
All right, just making
Okay.
sure.
Ms. Bassini, if we have a little bit of time, Carl can look into this and get back with you with a resolution.
I do want to say that we did attempt to resolve these issues with Vern. We told them, build a privacy fence back there and continue on with your sales. We've attempted to tell them, hey, these people are speeding down our driveway. We have never been able to come, he will never agree. He told us to go put a visible dog fence in. We already have one. But your dog, other people's dogs wander into our yard because of your sales. I got kids wandering in my backyard with sales. I have a big barn back there that people can go into and steal stuff just because they're there. You already got people stealing from there.
It seems like right now we have, we don't have a solution, but we have a kind of an answer, and we will address it. I'll make sure Carl gets with you and we'll get this taken care of. This paperwork I'll give to Ms. Weedle. She's insurance and ordinances, so she can review it. And then between her and Carl, we'll try to come to a resolution so everybody's satisfied with this.
Do you know when that will come to resolution? Like I said, it's Thursday morning, 6 a.m. He's gonna be open. He's not happy that I came.
I'm gonna refer to the police department. I don't have any authority to go there. This would be a police matter. The paperwork I'll give to Ms. Weedle. She can review it. I'm
Okay.
sure she's familiar with it. Rely on the police to address it and then get with you and say, here's where we're at on this. Would that be satisfactory? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Barbara Grover?
I'd like to address the garden, pollinator garden supposedly on Butler. That is not a pollinator garden. That's just weeds growing by themselves. Pollinator gardens should have specific nectar and pollen producing plants. There are no plants in there. What's in there is what was there, and it's just grown to fruition. There also is a agency that determines what a pollinator garden is in the state of Illinois. And I don't know, other than there are signs there that says this is got flowers or something. But that is not, doesn't have a pollinator garden sign. And also there are pollinator garden rules for the state of Illinois. One of the rules is a height restriction of 8 inches. And this is according to the state, not according to Grant Park, but this is not a pollinator garden. It has some minimal flowers in it that would bring some bees, some butterflies, but it is not specifically a pollinator garden. I'd like whoever owns it to cut down those weeds.
Well, I can tell you the village is not village property. It's privately owned. That I know. It's been purchased by a local resident or a local person for possible construction on the site. It's going through the process right now of rezoning. So the village does not own that property, but I can pass along your concerns to that person. But I cannot, since it's private property, I cannot enforce anything.
But you can enforce
It's,
the rules of growth within the area of Grant.
but I understand what you're saying, but it's not a village ordinance, it's a state, not a village ordinance.
Now,
And
does that
that's-
mean I have to call the state police?
Well, we have a chief of police right here, you could address it.
We do have a village ordinance, anything over 8 inches.
But that's considered farmland, it's zone A1 agricultural, until it's rezoned, it's still agricultural farmland.
I think,
We have the same issue next to the Pippin property, when the farmer comes out and mows that property, otherwise that is
I think the lots she's talking about are,
on Butler, right behind the Hildreth Courthouse, is that
Right.
correct?
It's right behind the
right, I think it's not
Hilbert
zoned,
Court, yes.
it's not zoned residential.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's still farmland across the street. We can look into it. I don't have an answer for you right now.
Now, when would an answer be?
Ma'am, you just brought this up, so I don't have an agenda to say, well, it's gonna be by tomorrow morning at a set time, but we can look and see how it's zoned. I know right now the attorney is addressing rezoning that property. And, but I do not have a timetable on when that's gonna be mowed down. You know, I understand your concern. But, you know, it's a little bit more than just telling somebody to go there and cut the weeds down because,
You know, all of us who live on Hilbert Court that back that property, we pay to have weeds killed, lawn mowed, edged against that supposed pollinator garden. It's just killing our grass. And we have to pay to maintain our property, and so now someone doesn't maintain their own property.
I will address it to the owner of the property. It would be up to them. And it would be up to the police department if we want to take it further, but that's all I can do. Your property is maintained, that is your responsibility through your HOA where you live. Now, that doesn't affect what someone does across or adjacent to your property. Just because you maintain yours doesn't mean they have to do the same thing. You belong to an HOA, that property does not belong to an HOA.
But does the village have an ordinance for
For
how
lawns,
tall your grass or your backyard or whatever?
for lawns, but I could say the same thing, the Pippin property that's on the other side of your townhouses.
Right,
That farm field sometimes grows 4 foot tall. And we have no control over that either until the farmer comes out and mows it down. And he does, and then he bales it up and he uses it makes round bales out of it. So, you know, we'll go through the process. I don't have an answer that you're looking for right this second, but we will address it as soon as we can.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have anybody else? We have approval of bills for payment and payroll.
Yes, I move to approve bills for payment dated July 21st, 2025 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $23,173.30. Also dated July 21st from the motor fuel tax, $1,800. Also dated July 21st from the tip account, $141,212.51. And I want to point out that we've already approved these bills, but this is a repeat because one of them was reduced about $3,000 and the other one was lost by the person that it was sent to. So it's a repeat, but you know, we've already approved this amount previously, actually less than this amount. I also move to approve payroll ending July 5th, 2025 in the amount of $25,606.34. Also ending July 5th, 2025, a stipend of $3,551.35.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wasn't here last week, so I'm sorry, or last meeting, so I'm sorry for repeating myself. But what are the county sheriffs, the cab fee and the booking fee? Is that just from?
The booking fee is when we send somebody to the jail over there. But the CAD fee is what,
CAD fee handles our computer dispatch system,
Okay.
which is all our reports and all that. And it's been about like $5,600 something for years. It just went up
Just
to,
wanna-
went up a little bit, yeah.
All right, thank you.
And again, all your police cars have access to that, right?
and in our station, everything. Yeah.
Right. Any other question? Did we have a second? No.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay,
Okay, motion to approve bills for payment dated July 21st, general fund in the amount of $23,173.30. Motor fuel tax, $1,800 even. Tip account, $141,212.51. Payroll ending July 5th in the amount of $25,606.44. And July 5th stipend, $3,551.35. Motion was made by Mr. Morgan,
yes.
seconded by Ms. Whirl,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
and Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Department reports, Clerk Scott Dillman.
I don't have any.
Thank you, sir. Mike Sanchi, our attorney, and Neil Pigish. I will be speaking with Mr. Sanchi tomorrow morning concerning some things in the village. And I also will be addressing the board with something with Mr. Pigish at the end of the meeting. He's our village engineer. Ordinances and Insurance Committee Chairperson Susie Weedle.
Yes, I have second reading on ordinance number 0-7-25-1. It is an ordinance approving an intergovernmental agreement with the village of Beecher. I would like to make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Okay, motion to approve second reading of ordinance O-7-25-1, which is an intergovernmental agreement with the village of Beecher. Motion is made by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
And that is all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Streets and Alley Committee Chairperson Morgan Worrell.
Yes, I have a few things. Before our tree company came out and moved, trees in the parkway that were in pretty bad shape, which is good with the upcoming work. A section of 9,000 Road east of Route 1 is gonna be tar and chipped, not next week, actually, that's gonna happen this Thursday. So if you're in the area, just watch out for that. And then, JD and I do not, but JD and Steve, are 7 to 3:30, they're receiving calls and texts at 4:30 in the morning, 10:15 at night. If anybody needs to reach them at any other time, please send me an email and I will get back to them the next day. Steve's about at his last bubble with that, so he wanted me to readdress that again for their hours. Also, he will be out of town next week, so anybody needs anything, they can email me and I'll forward it to JD as well. That's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Finance Committee Chairman Gary Morgan.
Yes, the first thing is the grocery tax, which is expiring January 1st. With the same kind of involvement that we had with the sales tax that we were able to vote for last year because of the new law. It also would allow us to reinstate the grocery tax of 1% if we acted on it before October 1st. And the tax expires January 1st. We need to think about this, and that's why I'm bringing it up now. I've been trying to figure out exactly how much this amounts to for us, and it's a little difficult because it's lumped in with sales tax that we get from the Department of Revenue, but we're going to try and find out what the 1% grocery tax does get us. I mean, obviously, Dollar General charges it. I think that there are some items at Casey's and at Love's we don't know about Shell Station, but they also trigger the grocery tax at 1%. So we'll look into it, try and get more information. But if you could think about whether you want to extend the 1% next year or not, that's something that we'll probably be voting on sometime maybe in September or later on. The second thing, you got the cover pages for the Pepin property appraisal in your packet. And hopefully you all got the whole entire report that has like 20+ pictures of the site and other things that were really kind of nice. Even had a black and white picture from maybe the 80s or 90s that kind of showed the house that didn't all have all the trees and plants growing around it. Anyway, as you saw in the appraisal, he went through a lot of work to figure out how to appraise it most reliably. And he had a range of like 108,000 to 155,000 that he was looking at and settled on an appraisal value of 150,000. So did you have any questions about the appraisal? Since this is discussing that stage.
That's where if they paid for that, they could do whatever they wanted to the property, tear it down.
Well,
revamp it,
That's the next thing.
Okay.
I mean, if we decide tonight to sell it, and the other motion that I'd like to bring up, if we do decide, then what's going to happen is there has to be an ordinance for the sale of real property that our attorney would have for us to review and vote on at the next meeting. Again, if we do vote to sell it.
Okay.
In that part, in what the actual sales terms are for a person buying it, we can say that the property has to be cleaned like in 3 years, and something has to be done with it worthwhile and make it look presentable in some kind of time frame. I mean, we'll work out the details of that. So tonight, it's like, the motion I'm gonna make in a minute is, are we gonna sell it? And then I'm gonna suggest the minimum amount of 150,000. But that's all we'd be looking at tonight, really, other than, you know, we do vote for that. I'm suggesting that we hire somebody to help us with it. But again, how it's dealt with after the sale, that'll be part of the sales document, the sales contract that we'd enter into with the prospective purchaser. Did anybody else have any questions about the appraisal? Okay, I moved then that we sell the property for a minimum of $150,000 because that's what the legal appraisers want. So the motion, thanks. We have a motion and a second. Does anybody want to discuss that motion as far as the sale? Okay, I think we're good to vote on it.
Okay, motion on the floor to move forward, to sell the Pepin property at a minimum of $150,000.
Yes.
Anything more you want to list with that?
No, that's
Okay.
plenty of this.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
Okay, since we've decided that we do want to sell it, then we're going to instruct our attorney to come up with an ordinance for the sale of real property with that minimum. And he'll have a lot of details and things that go into what amounts to how we go around selling real property. And you'll see that hopefully within a couple of weeks. My next motion is then I would move to hire a realtor, namely Kara Lipinski, to sell this property for us. And again, I recommend Kara because she's worked with us before. She is currently working on the FEST committee and has been a big volunteer for us over the last few years. And she's done other things for the village too. So I move that we hire Kara Lipinski to help us with the sale.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion of this? Okay. I guess we're good to go. Unless you've got a question. No?
No, I said I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Okay, motion to hire Kara Lipinski as realtor to sell the Pepin property. Motion made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
I have nothing else under finance.
Thank you, sir. Community Outreach Committee Chairman, Steve Brower.
We have, brought in a Dixieland band as well as a photo op with Spider-Man and Paw Patrol characters for photo ops with the kids And we're not going to be incurring any costs because we've already got sponsorships for both of those events, so it's no additional cost to the village. I do want to recommend it for approval for expenses for 2 additional items. One is the amount of approximately $270 for additional postage to rural Grant Park addresses, and the amount of $475 for additional grand raffle prizes and raffle tickets. The rural Grant Park addresses will get a flyer announcing the fest and all the activities and the schedules and all that. So we encompass more of the surrounding area that we can bring in more people instead of just the village of Grant Park boundaries. And the $475 for additional grand prizes will be Southside Meat special packages. The first place is approximately $75 worth of meat. And the second place is something called Meat Lover's Delight, and it's, I think it's 17 pounds worth of meat. And then the third place is T-bones for 2, which is 2 1-pound T-bones, and they're going to sell them for $20 for 5 tickets or $1 a piece. So that should be self-generating as far as revenue for that. Everyone I've talked to says very good. They like the meat. Southside Meats is a very popular place. They're a little bit on the high side, but they've got good quality meats. So I wanted to get approval for that, to spend the money for that.
Do you want to make a motion on separate items or group it?
Group it together.
It's,
I make a motion.
it's up to you.
Make a motion to spend $270 for additional postage as well as $470 for grand prizes and raffle tickets. For Springfest.
I'll second.
That's a good price for something.
Yeah, different, you know. it's not like-
Unfortunately, none of the people on the committee can win. So.
Well, you have family.
One thing, not to interrupt you, one thing you should make clear that this money is coming out of your fest account. And there's more than adequate funds in there to cover this.
Yes, that's correct.
Any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve $270 for additional postage and $475 for the grand prize raffles. Motion made by Mr. Brower
Yes.
and seconded by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Mr. March.
Yes.
Approve. Ms. Quinn.
Yes.
Ms. Whirl.
Yeah.
Ms. Weaver.
Yes.
I have additional information. Also, just want to announce that July 27th, which is this coming Sunday, we do have a 5K run, which we will have pancakes, bacon, and treats afterwards. So that will be 8 o'clock at the entrance to the lake. And if anybody wanted to come and enjoy a nice breakfast, they can come to the community center at 9 o'clock and enjoy a nice bacon and hot pancakes breakfast as well. Also, the Fall Fest is shaping up. We've got scheduled a euchre tournament, scarecrow contest, scarecrow decorating and display awards, and pumpkin decorating awards. And we're having a chili contest with awards. And we will have a few craft vendors that will be coming. We'll have a pickleball demonstration. We're doing a pumpkin toss where people will take pumpkins and hurl it. I don't know what to call it other than a toss. That'll be right over here. The Grant Park Fire Department is planning and putting on a display if they get their equipment built for this display in time. There will be an umbrella parade, the character photos. We will have a country band out here that will be playing on a 40-foot trailer in the 4:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and the line dancers that perform here or dance here on Thursday nights will also be coordinated with them to do some line dancing on the front lawn with them as well. We will be handing out parade awards, and we got train rides, and we're going to have the Dairy Queen curl person walking around as well. We have a petting zoo coming in. Hopefully we can get the kids' games organized. We're still a little bit shy on that. And Steve Weiss, the karate person from Moments, will be here. We'll have 4 big inflatables. We'll have food vendors. bingo on Sunday inside here, and the car show will be on Sunday. The vendors will be here, the inflatables will still be here, and then we lead into the burnout on Sunday afternoon. I think 3:30 is start.
3:15, 3:30.
So everything is coming around on that. Our next meeting for the fest is August 6th at 6 o'clock at the community center. We are looking for volunteers. If you want to work 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, or the whole day, we will take you. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Building and Grounds Committee Chairperson Julie Quinn.
Okay, I have a mural to talk about. I was approached by, Deb and Gary the other day as I was coming up to do our Buildings and Grounds meeting about the wall that is facing the west side, or facing the west that's of the, Village Hall. They would like to put a mural there, which I think is awesome. They would like to encompass as many things in Grant Park as possible. And see if Paul Niemeyer, who was on TV this morning, if any of you watch Channel 9, he was on TV this morning, to come in and help us figure out, or conceptualize, I should say, what the mural would be like. There was talk about including some walk-ups so that, people want to get in front of it, take a picture, all that cool stuff that people like to do. The Grant Park Foundation will be putting most of the money into this, but I would like to make sure that we open it up to everybody for donations. Obviously, this is something that is a part of Grant Park, and the more people that want to be a part of it, obviously, it's a pretty good thing to hop into, I think. So we do need to vote on whether or not we can approve the mural, and then not to have a giant cost associated with it, more than $5,500. Secondly, we met as a committee that the rental agreement does need to be sent over to the attorney for final approval. So it doesn't say draft on it anymore. It says final. And that is all that I have. So if we can vote, make a motion.
Make a motion on the approval of not to exceed $5,500 for the mural.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's for the Grant Park Foundation though, right? Not to exceed their
Well-
cost?
The village is not gonna spend any tax money on it. So the foundation is basically paying for it. And as you said, if other people want to donate, well, that's a possibility. He is no village money.
So I think, all we need to do is approve foundation to do the mural.
They're asking permission, if it's okay with the village board, that this goes on the west side of the village hall. our
Yeah,
current
I don't
village
think the
hall.
cost factor should be in the motion.
Well,
because
probably
the village
not.
money's not being
Yeah,
spent.
right, there is no taxpayer
It's
dollar.
already in here when we put the thing together, so I didn't make it back. Yeah.
The foundation is picking the cost up, which we will, in my portion, talk about this a little bit. Julie already mentioned it, but I think what we're looking for is a motion, just so the board agrees that the mural can be put on a village-owned piece of property.
Nice, second.
Yeah.
You'll have to make, Julie, you'll have to make a motion.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the mural being on the west part of the west side of the village hall.
I'll second.
Good. It is a motion.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the mural on the west side of the village hall. Motion made by Ms. Quinn.
Discussion. I have a question.
Sure.
He's a fantastic artist. He's great. Will we, as a board, have a chance to look at the
Oh,
final
goodness, yes.
configuration?
Yes, yes.
Fine. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to, you don't need to make it look like an actual video game on the side of the wall. That's.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So no Mortal Kombat.
I don't, I mean, as much as I love that game.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ideas. Could be a little bit of history of Grant Park, how Grant Park became Grant Park. With the start of C.C. Campbell bringing the railroad in, there's a lot of different ideas. It will be brought up to the village board for approval, final approval on it. I talked to the Grant Park Foundation and they're looking for suggestions and ideas. And I think they even mentioned to Historical Society, if they had any
Yeah,
ideas,
sure.
if they would like to see something put on there. So right now, we're in the planning stage, but all ideas are accepted. But I think the Grant Park Foundation will have, once these ideas are all brought in, they'll have the final approval on it because they are the ones that are really paying for it, but it will be done tastefully and everybody will have an idea of what's going on there. We won't wake up one day and find a Mortal Kombat dragon or something
Right,
outside.
well, I mean, the dragon's acceptable.
It dragon, but I
you
mean,
know,
yeah, something where it's gonna scare
fight
everybody
scene.
to look at it, right? The next item on your,
We didn't finish that.
No.
Okay, we'll start it all over again. Motion to approve a mural on the west side of the village hall made by Ms. Quinn,
Yes,
seconded by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on.
All right, you had another item brought up. Would you like to discuss a little bit about the rental agreement, how you want to clean it up, and we need to send it in to the attorney?
well, I mean, it's pretty much done, you know, the way that we looked at it, the other night, the way the draft is written. We just need to make sure that there's no maze. And, you know, you will do this, like it says it says that you may be required to prove residency. No, you will be required to prove residency. And any 403 or 501(c) documentation that needs to be provided at the time of the list. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything differently that's in here than the suggestions that you made from the previous meeting. That's more than fair. We just need to have it just not say draft, really.
Okay.
And then obviously the phone numbers that need to be updated. Because I don't know who. This is the correct emergency contact in the.
It isn't, that person's no longer with the.
That's what I thought. So this is just the phone numbers, small nuances that I don't know.
Okay.
But other than that, that's all that I have.
So you're making a motion to send this draft into the attorney for final approval on it. Is that correct?
I believe so. Don't make me nervous, but.
I'm more.
Dude,
I'll second.
I know, but I want to make sure that we're, you know, this is how we make money.
Motion to, send the rental use agreement off to the attorney for final approval. Motion made by Ms. Quinn and
Yes,
seconded by Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. March.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
And Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
So you have this point?
it is. Thank you.
Law Enforcement Committee Chairperson, Dennis Martz.
We have nothing.
Chief, we talked this morning. Could you let everybody know on how the resurfacing
Yes.
is gonna go?
They're resurfacing Route 1. They've started this morning and they have a lot done already. They're in the grinding portion where they grind down the road. They're gonna work from Loves all the way north to the county line, both sides of the road. They expect it to take between 2 and 4 weeks. So, there's gonna be some inconvenience for people. I put a post up on Facebook encouraging people to look at their transportation routes and take that into account, because there will be some delays. They say they're doing from Loves to County Line Road. So Gallagher Asphalt is the contract.
So is traffic off to this one lane now?
Actually, they have a flag person out there and they're moving it from side to side. I figured it would take a really long time, but boy, they really got a lot done today. So I don't know if their weather probably is gonna help them tremendously as long as it's hot and dry like this. They can make a lot of progress. So they usually customarily, they take the grindings and they take them back and they kind of recycle them into new asphalt and bring them back out and redo the road. So I think that's probably, their timeframe's probably on track, but probably between 2 and 4 weeks.
Sounds like they're moving pretty quickly.
Yes. The other thing is brought to my attention numerous times by lots of people about the railroad crossing. I made a phone call to my contact with IDOT, who is retired, I talked to the guy who's now in charge of that, and they're looking at it, but we've made calls to Union Pacific asking if something can be done. The Taylor Street crossing is getting really difficult. So I don't know if we're gonna make any progress there. We kind of unfortunately work on their timetable. Yes.
I'm called on that crossing myself. At one time, they had the audacity to tell me that somebody was working on it. And I said, if they're working on it, they gotta be invisible because I'm standing right here to cross. But also, which is not in our jurisdiction, the county line is like worse than this cross.
Yes.
I just went over it today and I gotta go all the way to the right. My wife thought I was gonna fall off the crossing into the tracks, but it's terrible too. And I've called. So I used to work there and it doesn't seem to get anything done because they're worried about the tracks and not the crossing.
Customarily, I think it runs on a cycle, probably between 2 and 3 years. They seem to come out and address the issues and then they fix it. And it does, in their defense, it gets a lot of truck traffic. But they need to do better. And it's getting pretty rough. I mean, with winter presents all kinds of problems with the railroad crossing.
And the
State
elevator,
doesn't plow
not to interrupt you, but the elevator will get mad. But they bought that property to put the entrance over there behind the restaurant. If they would do that, because I know how it works, when they make that U-turn to go in back in with the loaded trailers, they have all this force pushing against everything that in the crossing, the rails, the ties, everything. The elevator would make it so that they go in behind the restaurant, the crossing would last much longer. That's, that was part of what I did at one time.
So I would hope there's some progress before winter. Winter presents a lot of issues there because the snow plows don't necessarily plow across the.
Is it just the track or is it the road itself?
I think it's a combination of the track and probably, I don't know what they call them, the buffers between the track. They move a lot, the track moved a lot, but the problem we had in the past was it got so bad that in the winter, trucks were having trouble if they just started from the crossing, like if the train went across to get across there. And we had a near collision one time. So luckily in that case, we had a video we sent them, it kind of lit a fire under them and got a lot of work done rapidly. With winter approaching, said they do not plow that because the inconsistencies of the levels, the track and the area between the track. So, like I say, we can only hope that hopefully it's on the schedule and they get something done.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Nope.
I had heard it was on the schedule, but I have not seen anything that would make me believe it's on the schedule.
Well, hopefully
worked for them, I know how they work.
we'll get it taken care of because it's only going to deteriorate more when it gets better. So, the gentleman have anything else? Okay. I have a few things to discuss this evening. First off, we talked a little bit at adjudication court the other night. Someone stole one of our street signs on Taylor and Maple in the bracket. And I don't know why anybody would take that, but it's costing the village $200 to replace that now. So, whoever took it, I would like them to bring it back and be no questions asked. If, I don't know how I would, but if I find out, I will press charges because now the taxpayers have to go out and pay for that. And it took a little bit of effort because there's set screws in the top of this that holds it in place and you would need a ladder to get to it. So it wasn't like it fell off from the wind. But we discussed it the other night and we're trying to find out who might be involved in it. Talking about the mural project that's going to go. If anybody's familiar with Rensselaer, Indiana, they have a lot of buildings like we do that don't have business in them, but all of them have a mural on the side. And when you come into town, it really looks pretty nice. So I think it's with our beautification project coming up, I think it's a nice way to dress up the downtown area. I'm very happy that the foundation wants to pay for it, but I don't think it's solely their responsibility. So I'm going to pledge $250 to start. Anybody wants to match my money, once the program starts, that's going to go towards to help pay for this project. I'm not part of the foundation. It's not taxpayers' dollars. It's my money. So I just want to bring that up to everybody. And
The Historical Society has approved $250 for the mural as well.
we appreciate it because it's a costly project. Everything that the foundation raises, I got a fly that wants to donate here, but
Ooh, let me get a sweater.
yeah, don't, please, I'll be black and blue if he gets a swatter. All the money that is raised by the foundation, 100% goes back into the community. So through projects of beautification, I just think the community needs to get together and help out any way they can with that. I do thank the Historical Society. So they matched my pledge. Once this project gets started, I had talked to Mrs. Grant Park Foundation and told her about this. So the next thing I want to bring up is we had some contractors parking on village property. And it's not the issue of parking on our property, but they have to have this thing called a certificate of liability. What this says is that the village will not be held responsible if their equipment is stolen. If someone falls in the parking lot, they can't sue us. So I called our insurance carrier, George Ryan, and spoke to him. Very nice gentleman. We spoke for quite a while, and he said, anytime that a contractor, an outside agency comes into the community, they have to have this insurance. It protects us, and without it, we're subject to liability issues. So I just brought a copy of it. I gave the chief one. I gave Mr. Morgan one. There's one on record in the village hall. So when people come in, if you see it, I don't see it, bring it to my attention. We'll make sure that they're complying. It's for the village's protection. Another thing I want to bring up to the village board members this evening, and I'm going to hold this up this way because for liability issues, I don't want to show you the name on the cover sheet here, but we have some ongoing projects in the community and we have to be good stewards of the money. And when the project isn't proceeding at a pace that we needed to proceed, I have to ask questions on what's the holdup. And I get charged by asking a question. And I said, if you would have finished your project, there would be no questions to ask. So I think it's kind of unfair that you charge me to ask a question on when's this project going to be done, or any time that we have projects going on here. So I have to make a decision on this bill and a couple others we have from the same company. Does the board have any recommendations on how they want to handle this? Because I think to answer a question, they're not doing anything than answering how we're going to proceed. But I can't get them here to finish a project, and even to ask a question, I have to pay to ask, and I think that's a little bit unfair. Now, we bring in these companies from May to May. We may have to address this issue at a later date, but we cannot just be subject to any time they want to that we keep paying fees for basic questions. So does the board have any comment on this?
I agree with you 100%.
I mean, it might be a small amount. We have several amounts that we have to pay. They're waiting for my approval to pay these. And they're going to have to get paid before they go into litigation or before they go into collection. But I think it has to be an understanding that we'll pay our bills, but you do your work and we'll pay for the work. But I can't pay you ahead of time because once I pay it, then I'm signing off on the project and I'll never get paid. So.
And the project will never get done.
Right.
Well, right now, it's not proceeding. This project's a year old. So my patience on it is wearing thin. That's why I'm bringing it up to the board on how to handle it. I'll have to make a decision, but I will keep you informed on what we're doing with it. Last thing I have tonight, Julie, after the meeting, I got a couple things just to run by you, building and grounds things. But one of the things, one of the renters came in this morning. She rented the building on Sunday and she said the place was filthy. And I think our cleaning people do a pretty good job of keeping it clean. But she complained and I told Carrie today that I would address it at the meeting. She came in with actually, it's on, I don't know if everybody got it, it's on a village email with a handwritten note where she said that there was dirt in the corners and some of the tables had smudges on them and things. And so I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I said I would address it at the meeting. I think the girl that cleans our building does a good job. I do see her when she's here. I don't inspect her work, but I don't think it needs to be inspected. But when someone has a complaint that rented the building, we have to address it. So that's why I brought it up this evening. Does anybody have a comment on that? Last year, we paid a company, which I won't mention the name, we paid a company to come in here. I believe it was 800 or
Sounds right. I don't.
$700 or $800 in that neighborhood to do some cleaning, and it wasn't money well spent. Let's just put it that way. So if anybody has something they would like to bring up and say we should try this, we do want to keep the building clean. We want to keep it in great shape for the renters. When a renter disagrees what you're doing, I mean, we do have to address it as a village board. So that's why I'm addressing. If you have any ideas, please feel free to reach out to me and say, here's how we could do a better job of taking care of things. So that's all I have. Yes, sir.
Doesn't somebody look at the building when it's done being used, like in the morning?
It is, after the renters are done, the policy we have, the person who comes in and cleans it, if there's anything out of the ordinary, they take pictures. So we have proof that this is how the building was left. So we don't just automatically assume one way or another. They take pictures and then it's determined after that about the deposit, whether it goes back to the person who rents the building.
Was their deposit withheld? I'm trying to figure out what they're complaining about.
They just said the building could be in a lot better shape and a lot cleaner than what it is. And do you have a question there?
Don't potential renters have the opportunity to come in and have a tour to see? We're just a small community park building. We do have some dust and tables with marks. You know what I mean? Do they know that, or is
They
it
do.
the way that, you know?
At times, people do ask to come in and measure because they want to have a certain setup. So we always give the opportunity to open the doors and say, you know, please come in, see what we have. We give them a count on the tables. I can tell you that everything isn't perfect in here, but we do try our very best to keep up after things. But when these concerns come up, I do have to address them. It's not a criticism. It's just addressing a person's concerns. And this person came in the village hall and I told Carrie that I would address it at the board meeting today. Does anybody? Yes, sir.
Ben, I know we just had Young at Heart today in here, and I know we wipe the tables off before we put them away, but I have no idea if those tables are clean when we set them up.
Well, you know, that's
It's kind of an honor system.
It is, and we have explained that if, and it can happen to anybody, if we're folding up tables tonight and there was something that we didn't see and we put it back in the rack, it wasn't done intentionally, like we're putting a dirty table back. We try to, and I have to vouch for the lady who cleans. I think she does a good job. I'm not in here inspecting after her work, but I've never found it to be, you know, dirty or not clean. But anyway, not to keep repeating this, when these things come up, I do have to address them with the board. And if you guys have an idea that how we could do it better, then I'm all for it. We did pay a service to come in last year and we didn't get our money's worth. We'll just put it that way. I think Mr. Dillman said we got the surface of the refrigerator was the cleanest he ever seen it, but that's basically all they cleaned. So we had a shiny refrigerator for the amount of money we spent. So yeah, we want to take care of our building. We take pride in our building. But when these things come up, I will address them the best I can. Any more questions?
Yeah, we look around right here, we see hooks on the walls and things like that, which is the renter's not supposed to be doing. So when the cleaning lady comes in, does she make note of that? Well, also that door there going into the storage room has been damaged, which is a bad thing for a renter to see. And sets poor example of what it should be. Is that something that we can have buildings look at to be cleaned up? But
We,
you look around and you see all this tape and hooks and
well, let the,
clean.
I mean, in fairness, the tapes and hooks on the wall, I mean, the girl doesn't come in and make a note that there's 18 and I came in this week and there's
Should be done.
23. Well, yeah, you know, the thing is, she comes in and cleans, the building. She is not gonna start peeling the tape off the wall. We pay her hourly. There's people come in and they're not supposed to hang things off the ceiling, which says, and they're told that ahead of time, which happens. And it was brought up, this is an honor system. We're not gonna come in here and police things. We're collecting rent off the building. Please treat it as your own. We like it. We make a few dollars off the rental, but we want it taken care of. Because when it's not, it's damaged, we have to come up with the money to pay for it, so. Anything else from anyone?
So then, who are we putting off the tape that's left over on that wall and above the windows? So do we just hope that the next renter then takes it off when they take up their new tape? Is this kind of where you're going to, Steve? Then if it's not the cleaning lady's responsibility, then
Well,
whose is it?
we pay her hourly. I mean, I could have her in here for how many weeks, taking every string off the rope lights and every piece of tape. And if it's that irritating to somebody, why not you volunteer your time and start peeling tape?
I took 3 or 4 people
Well,
off tonight.
then I see 5 more in there, so.
I'll get on it right away.
Well, I'm saying, you know, there's 2 sides of the story. If you don't like the cleaning lady, or if she left a piece of tape, then I would say if you want to look for somebody else, that's up to the trustees to decide.
It's not what I'm suggesting.
Oh, no.
Suggesting you said if there's something wrong, then she should take a picture. Well, okay, we got a hook up there with these hooks, and if she took a picture, maybe we can talk to the renter who rented it and get restitution for it.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
okay, for her to take pictures of every piece of tape or every hook, I mean, where would it end? She comes in and does basic cleaning with her. And when things aren't clean, when we've had people jump on tables and damage tables, and they said, how do you know that? I said, well, how do you get shoe prints on a table? Or the table's broken. I mean, you look for the majority of things. I don't look for, the complaint was there's dirt in the corners. Well, I'm sure the girl comes in and cleans the floors and cleans the bathroom, and there was a complaint the bathrooms are filthy, and I don't think they are filthy. So I have to stick up for the people that work for the village too. In the past, I was accused of coming in when we had an issue, and I shouldn't have been in here. I'm not going to address it any further than that, but we'll do a better job. I'll make sure we'll make a note that.
Community cleanup day, like maybe just, we should schedule a day
We should.
and come in here and clean windows and take down tape, you know?
I mean, if people want to volunteer, that would be great. Otherwise, we could pay her the hourly rate that we pay her to come in. And I think it would be quite expensive because I don't know the last time even windows were cleaned here. So it's rented every weekend in through the end of September, that I know. If we get a day where it's not rented, we want to organize a volunteer group to clean windows one weekend and start cleaning walls up the next. That would be great. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Do we have a need this evening to go in executive session? If we don't have a need to go in executive session, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, Julie,
Yes.
One thing, instead of putting will in there, I would use must.
Oh, yeah.
Replacement words for may.
Let me see.
Yeah.